AI-generated music sparks industry concern. That's the headline on a CBS report.
The potential shakeup in the music industry. This week, Taylor Swift announced her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, will come out in October.
Here I am to critique and comment on it. Hold for the intro. Hey, what's going on? I'm Jeron, music independent artist based here in the New York City area. On this channel, I like to do all things music, from my covers to originals to breakdowns, analysis, and like today, critique and commentary on music topics. So if that's something you're into, I encourage you to subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll be the first to know when I put out content like this. All right, so AI, that is a topic that I personally have been avoiding on discussing here on this channel, just because it is it's been kind of like Pandora's box. Now it's out, we can't contain it. I have my own personal and professional thoughts on it. I'm sure you, as a music lover or a musician, fan, have your own thoughts on it. I want to just kind of use this CBS report under fair use and commenting and critiquing as kind of a springboard for me to kind of present my thoughts, also get a discussion going in a constructive way, because in a lot of ways, there's no right or wrong answer to this problem. At least that's what I hold in my opinion. So let's dig right in and let's see what we can unravel here and see how you feel about this. Let's do it.
The potential shakeup in the music industry. This week, Taylor Swift announced her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, will come out in October. It will be her first release since her billion-dollar Eras tour wrapped up. It's easy to forget that Swift is not just part of the entertainment machine. At her core, she's a Nashville singer-songwriter. But as we learned, artificial intelligence is moving in on that very human element of making music.
Okay, so the Taylor Swift conversation. Now, if you're a Swiftie, do not come at me, because I am not a Taylor Swift hater. At the time of this recording, on the other 𝐋𝐈𝐍𝐒 platform, she's getting a lot of hate. It's interesting how the CBS reporting obviously used her, because again, she did just announce her 12th studio album after a very successful year. Like it said, her Eras tour broke records, but it definitely grabbed my ear, caught my attention, how they segued that into the artificial intelligence conversation and how it's impacting, especially musicians like me who are not billionaires like TS. All right, let's continue.
Dave Malkoff is just outside of Atlanta with that story. Dave, it's something else too. Tell us more.
It is, Michelle. Welcome to Tree Sound. This is a hitmaker studio right here in the Atlanta area. But the song we are about to play for you didn't come from here. It didn't come from anyone with any musical talent. It came from right here. The artist, the lyrics, the fully produced song came out in seconds flat. We are getting into a very weird area here in the world. And it's hard to tell what's real and what's not.
Okay, right off the bat, this news reporter is presenting this artificial intelligence as it's brand new news to everyone. But those of us in the music industry, entertainment industry, we've been very aware of all the implications and consequences that artificial intelligence has really begun to, have on us, and how it's really changed things, and not necessarily for the better in a lot of ways. Although I want to make it clear, I'm not against technology. I love technology. I wouldn't say I'm a pure music purist in every sense of the word. I think it's good to use as a tool, but when it starts to be a replacement for the human experience, that's where I get a little iffy. I recognize there's certain circumstances, and as we watch this report, I'll give you a little bit more of my insight and delve into that. So let's continue.
Dust on the wind.
The band you're listening to
Boots on the ground.
is very popular.
Smoke in the sky.
This is their photo on all their socials. It is a true overnight success story.
Are you sure we're not real?
Now here we are with machines copying people's voices.
Rick Beato is
AI.
sure.
And now they've admitted that it's AI. They changed their bio on Spotify. But still, they have 1.5 million followers. Why are they a verified artist when they're not even human?
So there's a lot to digest there alone. I heard about this story, or this band that was starting to, make it big on the streaming platforms, specifically Spotify, the Velvet Sundown. And immediately, my stomach churned, because here I am, like many of other unknown, small, independent music creators, just trying to get heard and trying to build their socials and their music catalogs and make a little bit of a living off of music. And here comes this artificial intelligence band created obviously by a human, but supposedly all that artificial intelligence music, AI music, was created on the backs of real music, because That's not hating per se, that's just fact. All machine learning has to learn from humans to therefore become more human-like. So that already, if I'm not mistaken, from what I know, and I might be incorrect, so I allege, these music platforms that are in the AI generating music business, they have admitted that they have utilized the worldwide catalog of musicians' music, which is obviously millions, if not billions of songs, since recorded music has been a thing in the late 1800s. And that has had a lot of musicians catching feelings about things, present company included. That is interesting that now CBS, a news outlet, when I see that it's made the evening news and they're really letting viewers know about this, it points to that's it. We're really at a cultural shift here where the common person is now made aware of something that was industry niche specific. All right, let's keep going.
Popular YouTuber who's testified before Congress about the impact of AI and has gained millions of followers himself by talking to Sting and others, breaking down songs.
We're sitting in this beautiful studio here, but everything in this studio can be emulated in how many seconds?
It's probably about 2.5 minutes.
From the beginning to the end.
I'm pretty sure it was used that this program called Suno.
Okay, that's something we have to see.
Here's my prompt. Create a square avatar of a fictitious female alternative/indie singer and a name for her.
Wow, Sadie Winters.
Sadie Winters, okay. The song is about walking away from someone who never really saw her worth. It's just going to create the song lyrics.
Wait, how many seconds was that?
That was like about 4 seconds. Oh my God.
Did you even read any of these, or you don't care?
I don't care. Put my lyrics in.
The lyrics that happen in 4 seconds.
Yes.
All right, so a lot to chew on just there. And again, I'm going on the assumption that some of you are just music fans and casual music listeners. Non-musicians aren't aware of some of these ins and outs, but I'm going to go under the assumption that you're not. There's these music AI generative platforms like Suno, and I think the other one is called Udio. And very much I haven't used them, but you saw it right there. The CBS team documented Rick utilizing it. And as you saw, it generated a person, Sadie Winters, as they would say, a fake AI artist, and generated lyrics. And herein lies a lot of the issues that are happening for real musicians that have spent a lifetime training, learning their craft, learning how to read sheet music, learning how to finger piano chords, how to learn how to play guitar, how to sing, how to work on performance skills.
And she screams and her voice is strained and she says, baby, it's 3 a.m. I must be lonely. And she says, baby, well, I can't help but be scared of it all sometimes, and the rain's gonna wash away, I believe.
Learning music theory, the business of music, music history. All the things that I went to school for. I studied music. I'm a certified music teacher. I have degrees. I taught music for 10 years. So I know a little bit. I have credentials in this area. And that's the way music programs were, at least in the early 2000s when I went to school. But then around that time, technology started happening. Music became more accessible to people that weren't trained traditionally in music. And you have, if you're familiar with digital audio workstations like Logic, that's the one most people, even if you're not a musician, are aware of. And those digital audio workstations just changed the game. It made music accessible through loops, through little snippets of things. You can cut and copy and paste things around. Now, doing that with music is nothing new. Even someone like Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, he was experimental in grabbing things that he recorded and moving them around. But Brian and his musicians all had to have training or talent, or both. And they had to play things live, and it had to be recorded to a tape machine. Now, yes, technology made things easier. No tape machines, eventually digital, great. You still needed live musicians that either had talent or training. And then the argument came that at a certain point, because of the rise of technology and digital audio workstations, some might say you didn't really need much training, and some might say you didn't need much talent to just create music. And then the definition of music, which is a subjective thing, remember that, which some purists and hardcore musicians will say, no, some music is just slop and it's just garbage, hence the term AI slop. And now we're in that realm now of artificial intelligence, where in the last 5 years, it's really starting to sound less like AI slop, but actual music. And this following piece of the segment proves that.
And then hit create. Let's listen.
This is the world premiere.
I was paper, you were scissors, cut me out.
She's a good singer.
Good singer.
You
Ooh, that's nice. Pretty good.
Where are we, Rick?
Where have we found ourselves?
So drop in the comments. Let me know what you think. They did that on the spot, which I think was great for the segment. I mean, maybe it was pre-prepped for all we know, but from the looks of it, Rick just did a prompt, which is the world we live in now, right? Everything's a prompt with ChatGPT. I'm sure you're familiar with that too. So many people use it. It is now prompt-based music. But my question to you right now is, if you heard that piece of music, would you have any idea that it was artificial intelligence? Or would you think it was a real artist? And yeah, that's where we're at right now. This is why it's becoming a topic of conversation, not only in my music community, but now with this, it's going to reach a whole other part of the population to have that conversation about what is music anymore. All right, let's continue.
It's pretty amazing, actually. I hate to say it.
The next logical step was taking our fake artist to BMI in Nashville. What does a human songwriter think of her?
Did you grow up on a tractor? Did your daddy let you
drive?
This song went to #1 on the country charts, top 40 on the Hot 100 for Thomas Rhett.
Are your friends all in low places?
underneath the neon moon?
Co-written by Grammy nominee Parker Welling.
Yeah, what's your country song?
You know what I love about that, Parker? In your writing, it references other songs.
Yeah, that's like, we kind of debated about it when we were writing it. We're like, should we do that? Should we not? Because we had like the concept already.
What you're doing is taking what's in your brain, rearranging it, Tetrising it.
Yeah.
Is that what a songwriter does?
I love that they went to Nashville, where you still have a lot of traditional songwriters. I've never been, but from what I know, you have people that, like the woman that's portrayed there, just creating songs for top acts. And that's, again, the way me as an elder millennial was raised to think you created a song. You know, the Dolly Partons of the world, the Ben Folds, the Billy Joels, the Paul McCartneys, even the Mariah Careys, who may not play an instrument all the time, but she is a great songwriter in terms of her lyrics. That's, you know, the bare bones grassroots way of doing it, building it from there. But I wasn't opposed to the more modern way using technology, where non-traditional musicians would use things like loops and snippets of songs and drag and drop things and patches on keyboards and synthesizers to create unique sounds. Even I was okay with that because, again, it came from, at least allegedly, a human mind, a human creation that created those beats, put them on Splice. But this AI conversation is, again, it's something different than that. Objectively, it is different. It is not coming from the ideation of a human. Yes, it was scraped and machine learned off of humans, but that thing that takes to be a songwriter. I know I've been writing songs since I was a teenager. It's cause for concern. It makes you pause as a traditionally trained musician about how to proceed and navigate in this new music business. All right, let's continue.
What you're doing is taking what's in your brain, rearranging it, Tetrising it.
Yeah.
Is that what a songwriter does?
So it's, you write what you know, and country music is all I've listened to my whole life. You know, some days it takes 45 minutes, some days it takes 5 hours.
But your songwriting would never take 2 minutes or less.
Oh, never. Absolutely never.
Like I said, I've been writing songs since I was a teenager. I've written my share of bad ones, I've got some good ones, and I'm always refining. Some songs or an idea of a song can kind of come to you quick to develop and flesh a song out. Really, truly, it does take some time. It could be an hour, it could be 2 hours. The Beatles, famously, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, they had such discipline and they were so well practiced that one of them would come with like a germ of an idea, whether it be John or Paul, and they would flesh it out. And they said, I think Paul has gone on record saying it would take anywhere between 2 to 5 hours for them to write a song, complete from start to finish. Yes, the Beatles music in the introductory era was very, repetitive, as most pop songs are, but it still takes skill. It's still a craft. Do not forget that. There's famous songwriting coaches and teachers. One of them is, I believe, Pat Pattison. I believe he's taught the likes of like John Mayer. I read a lot of his books on songwriting and structure form, so I can always really refine my skill set because I am enamored with the process of songwriting because to me, and this is where the personal side is, it's therapy. It's something I just have to do. It's something that comes out of me. It's a part of me. It's an expression of me. And it comes somewhat naturally to me. But part of that is talent and innate, but a lot of it is also training. And that's how I've gotten better. Repetition. Ed Sheeran's gone on record saying quotes like he had to write his first 100 something bad songs before he wrote a good one. And now this process, the songwriting process, is being reduced to just minutes or seconds by a machine. And some people, from what I hear, allegedly, utilizing these tools beyond just kind of getting some inspiration, but utilizing them for the majority of the heavy lifting. I can't police the way musicians choose to do their songwriting or song creation. More concerned for the younger generation, the Gen Z young musicians that may or may not come from a traditional music program and training. I'm concerned because I think that they're cheating themselves from what is a rewarding experience to write a song, even if it's a crappy one, just to write something that comes from here, and here, metaphorically speaking, something that comes from your soul. And I know that gets artsy fartsy for some people, and that gets a little too romanticizing the music experience, but truly, some songs really are a gift from above when they come to you. And some you have to work towards. They're not always like that. When you create something from yourself or from an idea or inspiration, it is a wonderful feeling. And it's something that I wish every musician experiences, even if they're not meant to be a songwriter as a profession, but just if they're a creator of music.
Eddie Winters.
I'm so nervous.
I used to fold myself into your corners, made myself small enough to fit.
Wow, that's like the paper linger rhyme is like an advanced rhyme. That was a little bit jarring that a person didn't do that.
How does this robot, have human experiences?
This is the tricky thing about AI, is that they are training AI on what people like me have released into the world. The pace that technology moves and the pace that culture moves is so much faster than the way that legislation moves.
American artificial intelligence, and it will make America richer, stronger, greater, freer, and more powerful. Okay.
That's President Trump just 3 weeks ago signing the White House AI Action Plan. Earlier this year, Mr. Trump signed a separate executive order removing AI guardrails set by the Biden administration.
All right, so a couple of things to munch on there. And I don't want to get into a political conversation about this because that's not what this channel is about. You can go on to another channel to have that conversation. But I welcome a constructive comment as a musician with this conversation about artificial intelligence. And again, I want to be clear, I'm not anti-AI. I am not. And I do think it can have its place. And I think that's where this segment is going and where she's going about guardrails. Like anything, I do think better guardrails have to be in place. And when you hear of an administration, going backwards on that, it is concerning because I'm just not thinking of my industry. I think my heart really dropped when I saw what it did to the visual and graphic artists. And I should have seen the writing on the wall. It is a sign of the times and it's just what happens eventually. But this is a little different though, when visual and graphic artists and anyone in that niche of the arts is having their work being scraped and then reproduced in a way, but you could see the derivative there of the work. Now people are using it. It creates issues with copyright. It creates issues with compensation, because I do believe it's okay to get paid for your art, for services. It's been going around for 100+ years. It's still $1 billion industry. Your labels making money on their catalogs and publishing and copyright. The movie industry making money on copyrights of the reproductions of their work on streaming and licensing. It just was concerning once I saw the visual and graphic artists get hit first, and then them seeing their works being used all over the place in a mangled way, or sometimes in some instances, like an exact copy, no guardrails in place. Now, it's kind of what she said, legislation hasn't caught up. And I do think it's time that it catches up. And I'm hoping, because a segment like this on CBS is now going to be spread to the masses, it'll get the conversation going. It'll get our, the assembly people, senators, the representatives talking about this. Because again, it's okay to have technology come in, but are there safeguards in place so that people don't get impacted so quickly? Now it's obviously come from my field, the music field, in the last 2 years. It's gotten real good. I mean, it really has. Before too long, it's going to creep up into other areas. So let's continue.
Testified in front of Congress. What we talk about is just having some form of guardrails around it to protect creators. It is hard to unpack all of this, but just because it's hard doesn't mean that we shouldn't do it. There's something that's like living in a song. And for something that's non-living, to be able to learn how to do that and it be pretty convincing is kind of alarming. For someone who's a music purist, it feels not right to me. It feels icky to me. But I know there are people who would have different opinions about that.
I like what she said there, she said she's a bit of a music purist, and I get what she means. A lot of people can define that in different ways. You get different shades of it in the music community. You shouldn't be doing this and that, and I do think that gets a little out of hand. Music purists can be a little bit subjective, but I get what she meant about her being a songwriter, creating something that comes from herself, her living being, her essence. And now AI is making something that is convincingly human. I thought it was funny how she said it makes her feel icky. Not the word I would use for myself, but I think it would matter more to me when the casual music fan, maybe that's you, someone that doesn't know the ins and outs of music theory and production. But that's why on this channel, I'm always focusing on evoking emotions, how music evokes emotions out of me and how it evokes emotions out of you. Because really, at the heart of it, that's what music is about. It makes us feel something. It makes us have a reaction to it. That's part about being human. That's why music is wonderful. That's the thing that I never want to forget, why I do music, and I will do music and continue to do music till the day I go. Whether I'm a success at it or I'm a failure, I do it because it's like breathing air. It's like drinking water. What's concerning for me is when the casual music fan doesn't care, because to them, they just want to have an emotional reaction off of music. They want something they can relate to. And that's great. That's important. That's one of the primary reasons music is, an essential to us as the human species. But if they're not going to care that it comes from the pain and sorrow or the inspiration or the perspective of a human, brings up an interesting conversation. Is it going to mean the same to them if they listen to it in isolation? Will it mean less when they learn? Well, that's something that this report goes into, and I'm glad they did in the final part of their segment, but it's always something that I was thinking even before I watched this report, because again, music is supposed to evoke emotion.
Went to the streets of Nashville to find those opinions.
Are you a Nashville country fan who came from London?
Yeah. Wait, who is it?
Sadie Winters.
Sadie Winters.
Where are you guys from?
Ireland.
So what do you think?
I like her. I'm not sure it's my type of music.
What's the name of the artist?
Oh, Sadie Winters.
Bit of a Sinead O'Connor vibe off it.
I used to trace the lines you whispered.
You like it?
Yeah. On pavement cracked and gray.
That was nice. She has a very haunting quality to her voice.
All right, Dara, what's the crack?
What's the crack? Real Nashville vibes with alright, yeah.
So you think she's from Nashville? She's not Irish, I'll tell you. She's not American.
She European or?
She's not European.
Australia?
She's not Australian.
Canadian?
She's not Canadian.
Oh God.
AI, it's AI.
AI?
Ding, 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 ding. Someone guessed it. Now, did that person know it just from first listen? Or was it just an educated guess? Let's continue.
She's absolutely made up. It all happened in 2 minutes.
That's
AI.
incredible.
That is scary.
If you listen to this on the radio, would you care if it's AI or not?
I'm gonna go with no. However, I do think there's something to be said for like all the bars and all the real artists out there that if AI comes through, there's no connection with the artist. It's an incredible song, an incredible voice.
I want to stop there and what that woman with the hat was wearing, what she was saying about, she was concerned. She said it wasn't her style of music, but she was still could objectively kind of listen to it. But then she thought about how it's going to impact the real live musicians. And as someone who's been performing live since 4th grade, and I'll never forget that feeling. But down there in Nashville, or at least their music street, what's going to happen to them? And she thought of that. And I think of that too, how the fans are going to have a relationship, because that was the key thing. She honed in on that. And I'm glad she did that. The connection element, which begs the question, can you have a connection with a band like the Velvet Sundown, an AI artist, or Sadie Winters? Does it dilute it? Even if the song and music moves you, is the artist component being real or AI? Does that make the difference? Is that what's going to change how you have an experience? Will the Beatles repertoire, an entire catalog for the 7-8 years that the Beatles were around, they had about 300 plus songs that they released officially. Would it have been different if we didn't have the 4 Beatles and the personality attached to them that we had a connection with? I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer there, but I wanted to pose that thought experiment of sorts. All right, let's continue.
But it's not a real person, and
Yeah, but there's no one to see. There's no one to actually watch in real person.
I would go pay to see that girl, and so that I can't go see her makes me kind of sad.
There's this unifying piece of art that exists, and that's a really dangerous, and I don't know if it's even an ethical way to approach art, to have something non-human try to connect with humans in that way.
No need for humans anymore.
But this is the most human thing there is.
Yeah.
We sent an album out in the Voyager spacecraft.
hello from the children of planet Earth.
And we put music on there to communicate this is who we are.
Yeah. Well, this is who we are now.
I like that last line by Rick sent shivers down my spine. It gave me goosebumps. I've watched enough of Rick's videos to know that he's heartbroken. This is who we are now. I mean, I think he's logical enough to accept that this is the way things are. I mean, he's been around, obviously he's seen the old music industry from the 70s, 80s, 90s, the change, the Napster era, the streaming era. He's seen it in all its permutations. I don't think, I speculate in my opinion, that he's not very happy about it. It makes him sad. And I guess at the conclusion of this, it makes me a bit sad too. And also the singer-songwriter too. She had obviously her own thoughts about how the ethics of it, which I almost don't want to go into, and at least not in this video. I don't think I have the energy to, because opening up the ethical conversation, really, I mean, I'll be here forever, and this video is long enough. I'm just going based on what I saw in that video, what it makes me feel. And this is the beginning of me trying to also piece this together, kind of come to terms with it and formulate more opinions on it. Like I said, I'm not anti-AI at all. You know, in medicine, I'm hearing and reading about breakthroughs in what artificial intelligence can do to help people. I am excited about the prospect of AI doing things, beautiful things in the medical field. You, on the other side, could argue, well, you can't have it both ways. If you want AI on the medical field, well, then you have to accept it in the music field. How do we approach this AI beast in all facets of life, from politics to tech to medicine to the arts? This is heartbreaking because I do see a part of the industry changing, and a part of my ability to express myself get a little bit more suppressed, and people like me, other musicians and creators like me. And again, going back to what I mentioned earlier, it's knowing that the new generation of musicians, which I believe in, I educated youth for so many years and I passed on the beauty of music and the arts to them. And knowing that this generation, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and the one that's coming after them, they're going to get cheated from these things that should be passed down. What it feels like to pick up a guitar for the first time. I remember that feeling. First bass I picked up, first amp, and first time I taught myself piano and taught myself guitar, and, you know, took a voice lesson, and that was all part of it. And the first time I wrote a song from scratch, or at least one that I was fairly happy with from beginning to end, and I was so proud to just show it to people, even if it wasn't that good. That is a feeling that I don't think any machine can ever reproduce, or at least make someone feel or evoke that so another person understands what that feels like. On that note, make sure you hit my face. No, not this one, but the one above. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. It goes a long way to help me out, a small creator like me. If you enjoy content like this, or you want to see me doing my thing, singing, performing with emotion, covers, breakdowns, check out one of the playlists here or there. And I'm Jeron Music, and I'll see you next time.